In 2017, there were 2 Sonic games that released on the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and PS4. The first game was a successful 2D platformer called Sonic Mania. The other game was a 3D platformer that didn't live up to the hype known as Sonic Forces, and it is the latter that we are going to talk about in this video. One of the most disappointing things about the game is that we all thought Sega learned a lesson and thought they would work harder than ever on the game. Even though I still like the game, I feel like this game could have been a whole lot better. So I'm going to point out all the flaws about the game, and I'm going to explain what should have been done to make the game better. Hey, I'm Owen, the fiction fanboy, and here's my thoughts on how to make Sonic Forces great. The story of Sonic Forces is where Sonic is beaten by Infinite and the Eggman Empire, which consists of Shadow, Zavok, Metal Sonic, and Chaos, and Sonic has been captive for 6 months. And even though the fact that Sonic's friends haven't done anything the past 6 months is bad, it's actually worse than you think. Why? Because in the 3rd season of the anime series, Sonic X, it is revealed that a year on Earth is a month in Sonic's world. Yeah, Sonic has been captive for 6 months. He's been captive for 6 years. So after 6 years have went by, Sonic's friends hired a rookie, who is your avatar, to rescue Sonic. Meanwhile, Classic Sonic arrives to save Tails, and now Classic Sonic is there to help save the world. The Avatar rescues Sonic, the two work together, and then we realize that the Resistance only has 3 days to stop Eggman before he dooms them all. Once Infinite has been defeated, Eggman's plan goes into overtime, and when he is defeated once and for all, Classic Sonic goes back to his world and the Resistance is no longer needed. So, how can we make the story better than it is? Well, for starters, we should have had more cutscenes and less dialogue boxes between levels. And for the story itself, Sonic's friends could have fought back because most of the characters are playable in Sonic Heroes, and they could have been searching for the Chaos Emeralds. And if they found at least one, the heroes could have shown it to Sonic when he is rescued, and then they could search for the rest of the Chaos Emeralds, so that the power of the Chaos Emeralds is more powerful than the power of the Phantom Ruby. You could still have the Avatar and Classic Sonic so that the Resistance has all the help they could get, but Sonic shouldn't be the only useful character. And something else was missing from previous 3D Sonic games that usually happened in the end. In Sonic Unleashed, Colors, Generations, and Lost Worlds, we usually see what happens to Eggman after he is defeated. But in Forces, we don't know what happened to him. Did he die? Did he end up in a virtual reality? Did he end up in null space? We need to know what happened so we can prepare for the next Sonic game. If this was too much information, then I will say it again in a nutshell. Don't have Sonic's friends wait 6 Earth years to make a miracle. Have them try to find the Chaos Emeralds, and show us what happened to Eggman after his defeat. And don't make Tails a scaredy fox who can't fight. The controls for the most part of the game are similar to the controls from other 3D Sonic games. You got a button to boost, jump, attack, slide, use whisk, move, and to change between Sonic and the Avatar. When you play as the Avatar, you have a Wispin that is based on the color Wisp. When you use the drill Wispin to attack, you have to spam the attack button while the other Wispins only need one push of button. Instead of spamming the attack button, I was thinking we should hold the attack button and then release to attack. The longer you hold the button, the more powerful the attack. And then the main problem with the controls mostly comes from playing as Classic Sonic. In Sonic Generations, the spin dash button was the same button as the boost button for modern Sonic, but in Forces, you have to hold down the left joystick and hold the jump button. That made the controls harder than they were in Generations, and that game had great controls. All I have to say is do the same thing that was done in Generations. Make modern Sonic's boost button Classic Sonic's spin dash button so we shouldn't have to hold the joystick down. The levels in the game are way too short. To make up for how short the levels are, not only were there red star reigns, but there were number reigns they had to collect from 5 to 1, and silver moon rings that will disappear after you grab one unless you grab them all. Even though there were only 3 level designers from Sonic Team that worked on the game, and only 1 worked on Lost World, all of those level designers could have looked at the levels for Generations and tried to make the levels the same way they were made in Generations. There is also a lack of variety of enemies, like look at some of the robots that were used in Unleashed, and some of the harder enemies to hit. There were also missions, and I think I can say that clearing Chemical Plant and Classic Sonic in 70 seconds or less is a hassle. Another problem with the game is that there are no lives, and you know what other 2017 platformer had no lives? Yes, Mario Odyssey, which was released 11 days before Forces. And there's one other Classic Sonic level I have a major problem with. Iron Fortress. It's an auto-scroller level, and those usually only work in Mario games, with some others. Another problem is the null space level. You only spend seconds in null space, and then you're back in Metropolis. And one more problem is that some of the levels are glitchy. Not as glitchy as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 or Rise of Lyric, but glitchy so you beat the level a whole lot quicker with glitchy shortcuts. So I would say that the levels should have less glitchy shortcuts, a bigger variety of enemies, and more levels that should be longer, so it doesn't take a mere 3 or 4 hours to beat. And no auto-scroll levels, please. There are 7 boss battles in the game. You fight Zavok, Infinite, Eggman, Infinite a second time, Metal Sonic, Infinite a final time, and the Death Egg Robot. Aside from there not being a big number of bosses to battle, you don't fight Shadow or even Chaos, who are part of the Eggman Empire. Even though the real Shadow is a good guy in this game, we should have had an encounter with Chaos, and not just in a cutscene where Classic Sonic saves Tails. The only likable battle in the game is the Zavok battle. First Infinite fight has its flaws, but it's pretty decent. The Eggman battle is also okay. The second Infinite battle can be done so quickly with the burst power. The Metal Sonic and final Infinite battle are way too similar, and the Death Egg Robot looks nothing like the other Death Egg robots in Eggman's army. As Classic Sonic, it's like the Egg Dragoon part of the Eggman battle earlier on. The Avatar portion of the battle, you have to attack the robot hand or the center of the robot. And the worst part is that when you play as Sonic, the final phase of the final boss is a lot like the Sonic Colors final boss. What I would do is keep the Zavok battle where it is, make the Infinite battles more unique and more challenging. Don't have the Metal Sonic battle be a stage that has the Red Star Rings, Number Rings, or Silver Moon Rings. Make the final boss a better robot with Infinite's power. Make the gameplay of the battle like Sonic Heroes, where the Sonics become Super Sonics and the Avatar gets a yellow shield or his own super form that we can customize ourselves. No more copying the final boss of Sonic Colors. And add a battle against Shadow and a battle against Chaos. Or at least the latter. The DLC we got in this game was a game mode for Shadow, where there were only 3 levels, some Sonic t-shirts for our avatars, and apparently Super Sonic is DLC in the game. While the levels in Episode Shadow are redesigns from levels from the main game, the music is pretty great. There was only 1 additional cutscene in the game mode, and I think there could have been more. I would have made more levels for Shadow, even if they are just redesigned, so that game mode can be like the DLC modes from Shantae Half Genie Hero, a far more superior game that I recommend for those who want lots of replay value. The game mode could be about Shadow trying to escape a virtual reality that Infinite sent into, or could be about Shadow helping the Resistance save the world and Sonic, or maybe a mix of both. That would make Shadow a lot more useful than he was in the main game. As for Super Sonic being DLC, I would have made Super Sonic unlockable using special stages or beating secret bosses. Or as I said earlier, make the emeralds a part of the plot. And for the Sonic t-shirts, I wouldn't use internet memes for games with customizable characters. Sonic t-shirts as possible outfits for the Avatar was a crazy idea. What's next? Uganda Knuckles shirts that say, "Do you know the way?" Please don't do it. Overall, I have to say that it was a playable game. I like it, but I wish it was as successful as Sonic Generations and Mania. If you haven't played Sonic Forces, I recommend you at least give it a try. far from being one of the best games of 2017, but it's still far from being one of the worst games of 2017. With a gameplay and story with flaws, but a great soundtrack, I would say this game is a mix of Sonic 06 and Generations of 2017, and not the Generations and Rise of Lyric of 2017. The game gets a B, and the game isn't pricey compared to other, more superior games. Do you agree with me? What do you think of Sonic Forces, and how would you make it a great game? Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and good night-o!